Whether they are successful or struggling, business owners are more likely to call on lawyers, accountants, and a variety of business and communication consultants before they would look for a psychologist. Yet interpersonal relationships are the foundation of all personal and business dealings, and therefore not just important to the individual, but to the business, group, or organization. Relating to others does translate directly to productivity and profitability. Dr. Ron Reece has had more than 25 years' experience helping build businesses and relationships that will last for generations. His talks range from transition management to sibling rivalry, and leave participants with new insights that are meaningful beyond the feel-good advice of many presenters.
We can learn a lot from this little insect. The hive is a magnificent place to be. Each of the 75 to 100,000 team members knows exactly what their function is. The complex nature of interactions and the level of communication is truly unmatched in the hive. For example, when a worker bee heads, or a scout bee rather, heads out to find the pollen and the nectar, it comes back to the hive and it dances all around. It does a little number this way, and if it turns this way, it means you go north. If it turns this way, he signals to the other bees in the hive, you go south. The directional dances are absolutely incredible, and the communication at such a high level, it's amazing. Let me paint the picture even clearer, and as I do, once again, remember the team experiences that you've had. In the hive, it may look like chaos, but I can assure you there is no confusion, none whatsoever. There's a CEO, the Queen, and her court, the vice presidents, if you will. There are drones, and there are workers. And again, they all know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Their job descriptions are clear, and they know how to carry them out. And their teamwork is excellent, and guess what? The results are sweet. The results are sweet. The product is honey. Successful human teams have good members who make individual sacrifices. Team members who go above and beyond the call of duty to make the team work well, to help the team meet its goals, and reach to the organizational success that they want to have. So your life attitude dictates a lot, day in and day out, about how you are, not only with yourself, but with other people. That life attitude gives us energy to go on, or it slows us down and drags us down. So I like mine to be a little more optimistic. I like to see the curiosity, and I enjoy the opportunity to get inside of the minds and hearts of the folks I work with and to know what their ideas about life attitude is all about. My personal definition of excellence is that I have choice and I have independence. The other part of my definition of excellence is that if I could make it happen, which is one of the life path things going on, that my insides and my outsides would be congruent. We would be the same personally on the inside as we are on the outside, and back and forth. How simple would that be? Be nice to have it happen, wouldn't it? So if you're at 25, you know there's certain things. If you're at 35, you know there's certain things. And at 55, there's another group. And at 65, there's something else. Be aware of life stage, and it helps us live excellently. Society is about relationships. It's about volunteering. It's about being engaged in a broader something than you. I saw a sign, and many of you may have seen this sign before. It says, a man who's wrapped up in himself makes a small package. I like that. That's pretty good. Society gives us an opportunity to engage in things beyond who we are. And once we make those decisions, we want to pursue them. We want to pursue this thing we call life excellence and actually begin somehow to make it happen. And in the pursuit of it, my hope is that you'll use some other tools. I gave you some impact points, but these are the psychological tools that I think are incredibly valuable to each and every one of us. All that stuff was going on inside. I saw a great little article one time called Inner Weather. Wouldn't it be great if we had a weather channel? Maybe we ought to have an inner weather channel. What's going on in here? This inner weather that somebody has to live with day in and day out. Why do we chew ourselves out over such small things? Now, Ron says, remember how we do this? Ron says, create your excellence, create your project life for you, and make the impact that you want to make. Go do your life project. Have a good day. But sibling partnerships need to be one for all and all for one if they are to be highly successful in today's business world. This program talks about how that works and hopefully gives you some ideas about making things better in your business. But to set the stage, I want to tell you a family story. In 1965, my father, a post-World War II entrepreneur, had dreamed of going across the United States and taking his family on a vacation. And this time, he wanted to go across the United States not on a troop train, not behind the wheel of an engine, and not being in the Marines. So, at some fateful day in the summer of 1965, 4 boys, age 17, 15, and 14, and 7, and a mom and dad loaded up a station wagon, pulling a pop-up camper, of all things. And we started out across the United States, much like what you might see in the Chevy Chase movies. That trip was a combination of bonding and terror. Along the way, one of the most memorable experiences in the confines of an automobile on that kind of a trip was the 4 boys tugging and fighting and arguing and carrying on. And my father stops the car dead on the highway, and he says, "That's enough." And at that point, he took a string and ran it from the dash of the station wagon to the rear window of the station wagon, and he put 1 boy on each side in the back seat and 1 boy on each side in the rear end, and he said, "Do not cross the stream. The first one that does, I'm going to put you out on the highway and you're going to walk." Well, we go down the road peacefully. No, not necessarily. A little quiet at that moment because we just had our hands slapped. But pretty soon, guess what? It began again. One more time we did it, and sure enough, number 3 brother decided to cross the stream. He poked at one of us across the stream. My father stops the car and he said, "That's it, get out." He put him out on the side of the highway and we drove off. He said, "I'll be down the road a mile, come find us." Well, being the enterprising young 14-year-old, he stuck out his thumb and a truck picked him up and brought him to where we were, and my father was even madder. Could those 4 boys have run a business with the competition, the rivalry, the jealousy? We get the initiative of I, the synergy of us, and we have then the wealth of we. A business heritage with wisdom, the energy of the partners as an effort, the attitude of success, loyalty that goes along with being in a family business, and the trust and the hope that we're going to go on and on. If all of that comes together, I guess, one for all and all for one will have very well worked. Thank you.
Dr. Reece consults with family-owned and closely held businesses across the country. Call today to learn more about bringing his experience to your audience.